I'm sorry to put you through all of this, Keyframe. I'm sorry for everything!
Golden! You can never make what you did in the past go away. But the fact you do regret your actions, the fact you try to get better, shows that you're not the person you were before. You're not alone anymore. Heck, you've never been alone.
I could use the help I need. Keyframe, I love you.
Emotions. They are a thing of beauty that prevails expressions without words, but can ultimately come at a heavy price. Ever since cartoons kidnapped me, hijacked my channel, and humiliated me, I was left with no choice but to open myself up to the past, in which it wasn't as talked about as it should have. The times in which I've tried to forget, but it didn't do any favors for me. Even when trying to change my image based on the events on how I acted in Season 4, it just didn't seem to affect me that much. You could say that I'm just being a downer for the sake of being a downer, but the truth is, it's very easy for me to dwell on anything I find negative. From a silly YouTube comment based on what I said to the current state of my well-being. Arguably, a lot of people have this habit, but the reason being is because when I tried to impress those around me, my family, my friends, the world outside of the internet when I was growing up, the biggest thing I got in return are just flaws that are shoved down my throat. Now, I can't reject that since criticism is an important necessity to have, but sometimes, when the positives are being overlooked by others' feedback for the sake of pointing out the negatives, it just feels like I'm being downgraded for the sake of malice, or that I was just too oblivious to my own well-being. So it's better off that I just admit to them first before someone else beats me to it. So it's quite obvious as to why I get so negative about myself, no thanks to how others were very quick to judge me when I was younger. Suffice it to say, I couldn't have pulled through my reckless phase without the help of Keyframe. And I get it, the past is the past, but what's important about the past is what it's going to teach you, and that's a pretty subjective and delicate debate for that matter. And because of that, it affects who you are and what you become. As such with Season 4 and my feelings on the current generation of cinema. Now, I'll be honest, I still have my arguments with what I've said. I wasn't happy with Pinkie Pie and Philly Vanilli, and I didn't appreciate the staff's false advertising of the Equestria games, and it would have been nice to have the analysis community act more maturely. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. There was a lot of drama within the chat itself, spiraling out of control. And I let that influence me. I'd give some examples, but I'd rather not risk getting involved into another flame war. The point being is that the trial and error that I was going through was a result of being overtly defensive and excessively argumentative. A part of which I still have a habit of, but fingers crossed, I should be in much more control of them. Heated arguments are always bound to happen, and it's best to be ready for them. However, I've been derailing the subject way too much. I've said more than enough about Season 4, so the only thing left that I should talk about is the prior to when I wasn't a brony yet. Modern cinemas. I've stated how much I've missed traditional animation in the major film industries, or at least when it was in the mainstream at least. Nowadays, it's CGI this and CGI that. Now, just so we're on the same page, I don't hate the genre. I just think it's way too overused. And at this point, what new technique will be discovered? In the past, there have been puppets and animatronics, stop motion, and now it's all digital images. Have a variety of the three? Yeah, Hollywood won't listen. They're so swept up in their own satisfaction that they don't care to take the risks anymore when it used to be like that. Did you know that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs almost cost the Disney company after how much money was spent in production? Yeah, that was a big risk. And in the end, it's become such an iconic film. Star Wars? That had a lot of risk factors for Lucas during his prime time. Now look at how A New Hope turned out. It was such a huge hit that lines from the theater extended through the parking lots and shopping centers. What these have is pure passion and creativity. It's hard to find that nowadays, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely movies out there that are filled with so much effort. The Lego Movie, the Lego Batman movie, Zootopia, Peanuts, Kubo and the Two Strings, and there's the recent Captain Underpants movie which people said has been the best DreamWorks movie in a while. I wonder how well it competes with How to Train Your Dragon and The Prince of Egypt. There are, of course, Marvel movies, which I think are a bit mixed, but mostly positive. I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet, or The Avengers Age of Ultron. I'm sure they're pretty good. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said a lot of positive things about Spider-Man Homecoming. But nevertheless, why do I act so cynical? Well, the closest I can think of is that the things that I remembered and cherished from my childhood are gone, and I refuse to accept the change in culture that happens after how alienated I was feeling for the future. And overall, things just didn't go the way I expected it to go. I felt this way for years. Along with this, my behavior of Season 4, and the desperation at trying to be so successful with my content on Newgrounds, all adds up to this ongoing cycle where I participate to something that I find exciting, and ending on a bitter note. All of this happens because it's not the way I wanted it to go. Is it selfish? Yes. Is it childish? Yes. But is it understandable? I'll leave that up to you. That being said, one major obstacle I have to do is simply move on. It's a blunt answer that I don't want to hear, but I can't avoid this forever. I have to deal with the abandonment of traditional animation and the overabundance of CGI. 2D in American film industries is never coming back, and that's a part of our changing culture. True, there's the My Little Pony movie. Yeah, there's the Dragon's Lair movie. And yes, I'm aware of Scoob. But are those movies really going to be as successful as the amount of CGI movies that have been flooding the market? This generation isn't my childhood. And maybe it's for the best. I can't stay in one place. It's hard, but getting past this and adapting is the only way to better myself. However, after overcoming one adversary, it's only the beginning. There are other obstacles in the long run, and there's no doubt that I'll stumble into a similar situation like this again. It's part of humanity that we control ourselves with. These happen until the day you die. It's part of striving to push yourself and step out of your comfort zone. It's behind what gets in ourselves towards what imperfections we are dealing with. As intimidated as it is, though, it's also a motivation to live. And in my case, I can't forever fear what I face in the future. Just like you shouldn't be forever fearing what to face. But what is the benefit? What will the outcome be? The fear of the unknown still gets to me, and I can't guarantee that I have the closest answers. But at least I'm trying to give what I know of, based on my own experiences. But Keyframe said it best. I've never been alone. And after the recent times where I have gained several friends and colleagues, I can safely say I'm more confident than I was before. I could be more open in confronting with what I have to face next. We all have something to face from whatever personal is in front of us. As is, I have to face mine. Heh, this background's pretty dated. I should give it an update since Season 7 is going on. Oh, and don't worry, I'll still review Season 5. There's just a few things I have to cover first.
My opinion, the viewer's opinion, and any pony else's opinions has just as much right to be expressed as yours.
What the hell? I think I used too much energy when changing my background. I need a breather after this. Who goes there? I saw your magic. I have wee nunchucks, and I'm not afraid to use it. Hooah! Ah! Wait a minute. You have got to be kidding me. Holy crap, I've been upgraded!